What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So the stock market did well today, guys. S&P 500 up 0.4%. The Dow Jones ended up going up 0.1%, and the Russell 2000 and the Nasdaq 100 each went up about 0.8% on the day. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the stock market, breaking down some technicals, going over the 10 best high growth stocks that I'm looking to buy right now. And I want to share with you guys what I've been doing in the stock market as of late, an earnings report that came out today, and in general where my head is at right now as a trader and as an investor. So smash that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and get this, guys, WeBull has once again upped the ante. Originally, they had 2 free stocks, then they went to 3 free stocks, and now until the end of November, they're going to be giving you 4 free stocks valued up to $1,600 by simply depositing $100 using my link down below. So use that link, get your 4 free stocks. It's literally free money, and let's get right into the video. Starting off here with the S&P 500, and again, like I said, it went up 0.4%, up 14 points, but earlier in the day, guys, in the morning, we were actually down. The S&P 500 opened up at about 35.60, ended up gapping all the way down to 35.45, 35.50, and then we rallied all the way back up to 35.80. And if you guys have been following my videos the past couple of days, we literally talked about 35.50 and 35.80, 35.85 being very critical levels on the S&P 500. And why is that? Well, if we zoom back here to the 20-day chart, you guys can see, well, first and foremost, 36.45 is the all-time high on the S&P, and 36.30 is another big level of resistance. But if we zoom back a bit further from the 20-day chart, let's say 4-hour chart, you can see that back in the middle of October, on October 12th, we actually hit a high at about 35.45. So the fact that we held that as support today and we filled the entire gap back up to 35.85, which was a resistance here on the 11th of November as well, that is a very good sign that the bulls are slowly and maybe taking over in terms of momentum here. And if we zoom a bit into, let's say, the 20-day chart again, you guys can see a bit of an ascending triangle forming here, right? We're making higher highs, or not higher highs, higher lows on the S&P, right? Low at 35.22, the next one at about 35.30, and now with today's hold at 35.50 and the gap fill up to 35.85, this very well could be another higher low. And the idea here of an ascending triangle is we're squeezing deeper and deeper into this triangle until we burst out of the resistance, right? And in this case, the resistance, like I mentioned a second ago, is 36.30 and the all-time high at about 36.45. So I think overall tomorrow, if 35.85 can break, if we break into 3600 territory and the S&P fills the gap up to 36.30, this right here, let me show you guys with the square drawing tool, this right here at about 36.30, 36.45, this could be breakout territory on the S&P, right? If we get into this ascending triangle, we squeeze deeper into it, and then ultimately break out of 36.30, 36.45. That is breakout territory on the S&P, and hey, it's looking like it wants to get there. So we'll see tomorrow if we break into 3600. There could be more upside there on the S&P. And when it comes down to SPY, which is an ETF that mirrors the S&P 500, and a lot of people out there analyze this instead of the S&P 500. Let's take a look at it, right? On the 20-day 1-hour chart, you guys can see we filled the gap down to about 353, 354. We held that at a higher low today as support, and mind you, that was a resistance from a couple weeks ago as well. On the 4-hour chart, you guys can see it, right? 353 was that high in the middle of October. So the fact that we held it as support today at a higher low, and we almost filled the entire gap back up to 3 358. That is a pretty good sign here, right? And same thing as the SPX, guys. It applies here to SPY. I'm thinking if 358 can break, and at this point after hours, we are down a little bit. SPY is down to 356.30. It closed at about 357.80, so it's down about $1.40, $1 and some change here. So that's something to keep an eye out for tomorrow if this little sell-off continues pre-market. But let's say, okay, if 358 does break, we don't sell pre-market tomorrow. We might see a gap fill up to 362, 363 here on SPY, and then ultimately, if that breaks, that's when we might see another pop to about 366, which is the all-time high here that I'm looking at on SPY from back in the middle, or actually no, that was in the beginning of November, right? So those are a couple of levels here on SPY, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average didn't do much. Like I said, up only 0.1%, up 44 points, but a good thing that we are seeing here, guys, is it is holding a higher low on the 4-hour chart, and if we zoom in a bit on the 20-day chart, you guys can see it a little bit better. Higher low at about 29,300. The previous higher low was a little bit shy of 29,000, so that is a good sign. But overall, to get more momentum to the upside on the Dow Jones, we must see a break above 29,700, which is about 200 points away from where we are right now to the upside. And if that does break, we might end up going to the infamous 30,000 point milestone on the Dow Jones. That's if 29,000 breaks, because again, at that point, there could be a lot of upside, a lot of momentum squeezing us out of there. So those are some levels on the Dow Jones, and the Nasdaq 100 did pretty well today, up 0.8%. Up 90 points, and with the close in today's session, we are under a big resistance from a couple days ago, pretty much this whole week, at about 12,000 points, 12,040. We close at about 11,980 here, so for the bulls to get in charge, more charge, right, a full head of steam, Nasdaq needs to break 12,000. Needs to break, honestly, 12,200 as well, because you guys can see here on the 4-hour chart, not only is 12,000 a resistance, 12,050, but also 12,200, right? That's where we struggled in the middle of October and earlier in the month here in November. So if 12,200 breaks, 12,050 breaks, I think the Nasdaq is going to crush it. I think there's potential that it could get momentum back up to the all-time highs at about 12,400. So we just need to see and wait and see what the confirmation, or wait to see for the confirmation tomorrow above 1250, right? If that breaks again, we might be going straight to 12,200. And when it comes down to the precious metals market today, guys, didn't do much. Gold was down, excuse me, down about 0.5%, 0.5%, down about $9 an ounce, and it's holding this downwards trend channel pretty nicely here. So maybe we make a move off these lows on gold for maybe a pop back up into the 1900s, mid-1900s. I think that's possible here on gold based on these technicals on the 4-hour chart. And silver here, guys, is looking like it's testing that higher low that we've been holding for a lot here, about a couple months, right? This higher low on the uptrend. So if this holds at about 24 an ounce, I think we could end up seeing a nice pop, maybe back up to the 25, 26 an ounce level here on silver. So let me know your thoughts down below on the markets in general. Are you buying? Are you selling? What are you doing? Are you cash heavy? I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments section down below. And in terms of what I did, guys, honestly, I didn't do much today. I was honestly busy in the morning. I had a doctor's appointment. I was running some errands. So I was actually not on my computer until about 11:30, 12 here on the East Coast. And I figured at that point, I mean, I'm already in positions, right, from a while, a couple days ago, a while ago, I've been adding positions, and I didn't really see anything that was piquing my interest today. So I figured not to add anything new, but I'm still holding on to what I've been in, right? Apple, AAPL, this is one that I've been in for a while at about $112, up about 0.5% today, still seeing a bit of resistance under 121 bucks, so that needs to break in my opinion. And if that does break, I think we will get to $127 on Apple, which is roughly where I want to sell maybe half of my position all of it. Maybe not all of it, but maybe half, 75% of my position at about $127. Workhorse is another one that I'm still in here, which was doing pretty well earlier in the day. I think it was up like 4% at one point. It got to almost $24, but sold off to about $22.80 at the close of the market. And overall, guys, that sell-off was pretty healthy, as with today's pop to almost $24, we hit a higher high, right? And the pull down here heading into the close is simply a healthy pull down. We're holding a higher low, and honestly, by the looks of it, we could rip higher. And overall, my price target on Workhorse here in the short term is right around $25 to about $26. That is a resistance from back in the middle towards the beginning of September, right? So yeah, $25, and if that breaks, there could be upside, like I said yesterday, upwards to $28, maybe $30 here on the stock, as a lot of momentum, maybe even a short squeeze might come in after we hit 25 and above. And you guys know when Workhorse, when we see a short squeeze on this particular stock, it can run like crazy. I'm talking 20% in a day. So watch out for that. And I'm also still in silver SLV, which is just a bit of a, silver exposure there, like we talked about earlier. I think silver could go maybe 25, 26 an ounce here. And I'm also still in EA, which has been, honestly, one of my worst, probably my worst swing trade position here. But like I've been saying, it's a longer-term swing for me. I'm looking at it for a couple quarters here. And today, honestly, it did well, up almost 3%. So I can't down it too much, although I am down a little bit here on my EA position. So overall, guys, that's what I'm doing. Again, nothing too crazy. I didn't do anything new today. And sometimes, guys, what you have to understand is the best trade, the most logical trade, is no trade at all. No one said that you have to trade every single day to be successful, right? In the stock market, whether you're day trading, swing trading, whatever, you don't always have to be in the market making moves daily. Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit back and maybe not even open your brokerage account one day, right? I rarely do that. I pretty much open it every day, but you don't have to open it every day even. That's the truth behind the matter. So that's what I did. Let me know what you guys are doing down below. And if you are enjoying the video, smash that like button. Let's try to get 450 likes. Last time we tried it, we came a bit shy. So let's see if you guys can get us to 450 likes. I challenge you guys. Let's get it. Smash that like button. And let's talk about BJ's here, which is the only earnings report that we're going to talk about. And BJ's is a wholesale store, right? It's called BJ's Wholesale Club. Very similar to Costco, kind of similar to Target, not really, but it's one of those businesses, right? And BJ's did EPS of 92 cents versus 64 cents estimated. Revenue came in at $3.73 billion versus $3.68 billion estimated, so a double beat there and a very nice beat on EPS. And Q3 same-store sales are up about 18.5% year over year. And overall, BJ's, it's been rallying the past couple of days from $40 to about $44 is trading at right now. But it still has some more upside. I think we could end up maybe taking out those highs at about $47.85, maybe $48, which from where it is now, hey, that gives it about 6 to 7% upside to that $47, $48 target. So we're not going to dive deep into BJ's earnings, guys, honestly, and quite frankly, you guys probably don't care about BJ's earnings, and honestly, I don't really either. It was really only I'm only talking about it because it was the only stock that really piqued my interest a little bit when I was looking at the earnings calendar. A lot of the big companies, believe it or not, guys, they're behind us. So yeah, that's BJ's. They had a double beat there, but again, it's maybe not the best risk reward. We could get 6 to 7% on the upside here to $47, but you guys have to realize this stock has already doubled since back in March. So you got to be careful a little bit there. So that's BJ's. And now let's talk about 10 high growth stocks, the best 10 high growth stocks, at least in my opinion, that I'm personally looking to buy right now, with double hands. Let's just put it that way, right? So AMD is one of them. AMD went up 3.6% today. It closed at $85.50. And with today's breakout above this 83.80 to 84-ish level of resistance, we're in breakout territory, right? I think AMD, with today's breakout, I think we have upside upside upwards to $87.30 to about $88. That gives it about 2 to 3% upside from where it closed at today, and even higher from there, quite honestly, guys. I think it could get to maybe above $88 if that breaks, maybe back upwards to the $90 level. And I've noticed, right, and you guys can see this for yourselves if you pull up the 3-year chart on AMD. I feel like it sees legs up, massive legs up, periods of consolidation, followed by more legs up, right? Big legs up. You can see it for yourselves, right? We went from $9 to $32. We sold off, consolidated at about $18 for a couple months. Then we saw a nice stretch all the way up to about $34, sold off, consolidated a bit, rallied up to about $54, $55. And this is really, really similar to what we're seeing now. The price action that we saw, let's see, was this about a year ago? Let me double check with you guys. Look at this price action. We saw a bunch of consolidation for 1, 2, 3 months at about $55 to $59, downwards to about $50. So pretty much $50 to $60 is where we consolidated pretty much from April all the way to July of 2020. And that's where we saw another big leg up to about $87. And look now, we've consolidated for 1, 2, 3, 3.5 months between 72 and about $90. So could this be another consolidation phase before the next breakout? I think so, right? And the breakout could come anywhere between $88 upwards to $94. And I think if $94, $95 breaks on AMD, we might be going all-time highs above 3 digits. I'm talking over $100 per share on AMD. That's where I'm thinking it's going, right? If I were to bet where AMD is going over the next year or two, is it over $100 or back under $50? It's no doubt over $100, right? That's where I'd be betting, and I'm sure most of you guys out there will agree with me. And another one here is CGC, Canopy Growth. Ended up selling off nicely from a resistance hit at $25, down to about $23 here, $23.30. We're holding that support nicely here, and the 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at a higher low. And notice, guys, back in the middle towards the end, more towards the end of May of 2020, we actually peaked right around $23.30, $23.40, $23.50, and that's where we're holding right now as support. So I think CGC has potential here from $24 up to about $25. That little dollar gap, that gives it about a 5% upside here, and I think there's even more upside if $25 breaks, right, up to about $27, $27.25, where we just were about a week and a half ago, which gives it about 12% upside. So CGC, I like it, especially if we get a Biden-Harris, 100% official presidency. If that occurs, right, which is likely to happen at this point, that's going to be very good for the MJ stocks, as you guys know, and that's kind of why they've been rallying like crazy. So we're going to be playing the volatility in and out with these ones. And again, with CGC, $24 to $25 up to $27, $28, I think that's what's in store. And JD.com, some Chinese companies here, guys. JD.com is down $12 off its high here, which is about a 14% drop. We're holding a big level of old resistance here as support at about $85, $86, and I'm just waiting for the confirmation. I'm waiting like a little kid on Christmas here, guys. I'm waiting to see when this breaks out of 86, 87, out of these moving averages here on the hourly chart. I think that is where we might see some more volume kick in. As you guys can see, the volume's been dying down a bit on JD, but I think if we get out of 86, 87, 88, that is where we'll see momentum shift, volume kick up, and we could end up making a move back up to the mid-90s, high 90s in that situation. And overall, I like the pattern here on JD. I think there's nice potential on the dip as a dip buy, and all we need to see is the confirmation, right? And another Chinese company here, TCEHY, also known as Tencent, guys. Both of these are great growth companies, and the technicals are attractive since they're both at pretty nice dips. JD down 15%. Tencent down not as much, but still down about 7-8%. You guys can see Tencent is holding a general old resistance where we struggled from, get this, guys, take a look here at the chart. We struggled at about $72, $73 from July, beginning of July, all the way to pretty much a month ago in the middle of October, right? And the second we took out 72, a lot of momentum kicked in. We got up to $81. Now we're pulling back down to that older resistance as new support at about $73, $75. So yeah, I think this is a dip buy on 10 cent, and all we need to really see and wait for is the breakout on this hourly chart. Take a look here. We're still downtrending in the short term the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days, right? So if we break out of the moving averages on the hourly chart, break this downtrend, I think 10 cent could end up breaking out. I can see it going back up high 70s, low 80s, and maybe even higher than that all-time high at about $80. And let me double check. Is that an all-time high? It sure is, guys. So watch out for 10 cent. Watch out for JD. And we also got some good news today from Roku. According to a new report from the desk, Warner Media and Roku are nearing a deal that will bring the HBO Max app to all the Roku devices. There is no official timetable for the deal, but the report suggests that it could be completed by the end of 2020. And this is going to bring a lot of new shows, movies, and so forth to Roku, a whole new catalog, right? And the stock's up 10%, 10.21% to be exact, up over $20 per share on the day. And this makes sense because a couple days ago, I forget exactly when it was, we saw that HBO Max has actually just striked a deal with Amazon's Fire Stick, right, which is obviously a competitor to Roku, and now Roku's doing the same thing here with HBO Max, so that, in my opinion, is great, another growth vector for the business, and although the stock's run up a lot, it's overbought a bit at this point, we're about to break the all-time high at 260, I still think there could be upside, right, and I'm not a genie, I don't know where it's going to go, I could give you guys a number off the top of my head and be like, oh, I think it's going to go to 300. But the truth is, nobody knows where it's going to go. And I think the way to play this is, okay, we might see a break out to, let's say, 270, right? We might get even more overextended. And at that point, I'd like to be patient, not FOMO into it, and wait and see and just give it some time, wiggle room, and wait and see if it pulls down. Because we've noticed every time Roku's hit a high, it's cooled off a bit, and all those cool-off periods have proven to have been nice dip buys, right? So now that it's already dipped, it's ran up, we missed the run-up, or at least I did, we have to see and wait when it'll cool down again, and when it cools down again, I think that is where we could be able to get in, maybe anywhere from 240, maybe 238, maybe 244, 242, that general area, that could be where we do end up pulling down to. But kudos to Roku, they're making good business moves, HBO Max app to all Roku devices, that is good news. And another growth stock here is Square, SQ, guys, today went up 3.3%. It's flirting with that 192 level here, resistance from the back. When was that? Back in, let's see here, back in October, right? Beginning of October, middle of October, Square struggled at 192. We broke out of it in the middle, more towards the beginning of November here. We broke out of 192 up to 204. Now I think if 191, 192 breaks, we're going straight back up to $200, $204 per share on Square. And this is looking like an ascending triangle as well, right? Resistance at 192. We're seeing higher highs, or not higher highs, higher lows, right? Resistance at 192 and higher lows heading into that resistance, and we're squeezing into that resistance, right? So I think we're going to burst right out of it. There's a lot of momentum coming here, and with that burst above 192, like I said, 200, 204 is where we're heading, and if 204 breaks, we could be off to the races. Who knows? Maybe 210, 215, and that would be really an exhausted rally at that point. And we'd probably need to see a pull down if that were to occur. But overall, Square, I'm bullish on it. Ascending triangles looking juicy, and we could get some gains there. And another one is SPCE, which is going up day after day after day, regardless of the fact that they moved back their test flight indefinitely, right? Their first manned test flight out of New Mexico, they moved it back indefinitely. It was supposed to occur between today and the 23rd of this month, and they canceled that, and the stock's still going up. Today up 6.5%, filled the entire gap from 2250 up to about 24.60, which is what I was talking about in the Discord chat earlier. Make sure to join that, by the way. Link down below, free of charge to join. We talked about how Virgin Galactic has a likelihood to get from 22.50 to 24.60, since that is a resistance from back in the middle of October. And now the question is, what are we going to do here, right? We've rallied a ton from $17 in the beginning of this month all the way to where we are now. That's a rally of over 27, almost 30%. Now it seems like we're getting not overbought, but we're rallying a ton to the point where I think if we get rejected at 24.60, we could see some downside in the short term, maybe back to 22.50. But overall, in the short term, again, it's kind of like a double sword here. Yeah, we're getting a bit overextended, you could argue, but the trend is slowly shifting. The momentum is slowly shifting at the same time. And I think if 25 can break, we see a clean break there. Forget a pull down, we might be going straight to 27.50. So we just have to play the technicals here on Virgin Galactic. I think there could be upside, right? But I wouldn't be surprised either if it were to sell off a bit, since it's already ran up 30% since literally the 5th of this month, which is absolutely insanity. And three more here, guys. We have Slack Technologies, also known as ticker symbol WORK. This one went up 4.4% today, filled the gap up from $26 all the way up to $28, like I mentioned and outlined in previous videos, right? That's what I was looking for initially for WORK, a nice gap fill from 26 to 28. It did that. Now we're looking to see what it can do here under the 28 and the 180 SMA resistance here on the 4-hour chart. I'm thinking if we break out of 28, there's a lot of upside, maybe up to $32, maybe $33 per share here on WORK. And guys, take a look here. We've seen this move made multiple times from $28 to $30. It's done it once here, or $33 rather, from $28 to $33 once here, twice here, 3 times, 4 times. It did it earlier in the month of October, heading into the middle of October. So I'm thinking it could do it again. If 28 breaks, there's going to be a lot of momentum to the upside. Again, from 28 up to 30, 32, 33 is where I'm watching Slack Technologies here. And Run, also known as Sunrun, is another one that filled the gap nicely, like we outlined in a previous video, from $57 up to about $60. And $60, guys, is a big resistance on Sunrun. So 60 needs to break, and I'm thinking after that, we can fill the gap up to where we were earlier in the month of November, a little bit shy of $64 to $65, right? That could give Sunrun from $60 to $65, some pretty sizable upside of about 6 to 7%. So watch for that gap fill, and even from there, guys, if 65 breaks, there could be even more upside. I'm talking back up to the high 60s, maybe low 70s. There's potential here in a beaten down stock that's gone down from 82 down to about $50, and it's only at 60 now. So it's still down quite a bit, and there could be more headway to go. And the last one here is Snapchat. SNAP, which was in this downwards channel. You guys can see it here on the 4-hour chart. We were trading there ever since they reported those killer earnings a couple weeks ago, and we hit $46 recently, back on the 9th of November, but ultimately sold back into that channel, hit that support, and we traded a little bit within the channel again a couple days after that. And now today, we broke the resistance of the channel yet again, just like we did a couple days ago when it hit that all-time high at about 46.70. So this is very bullish on Snapchat. I think we could end up hitting maybe highs of about $44 from here. If 44 breaks, maybe back up to about $46.70, $47. That is where Snapchat could be heading, given it from where it is now up to $44, about 4% upside. If 44 breaks, up to 47, maybe up to 9 to 10% upside. So those are the stocks today, guys, and overall the market update, trading update, and some thoughts that I have on the market. And let me just quickly name all the stocks we talked about today so you guys can maybe write them down if you want to. AMD, Canopy Growth, JD, Tencent, Roku, Square, Virgin Galactic, Slack Technologies, Run, also known as Sunrun, and Snapchat. So if you guys found value in the video, hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, join our Discord chat, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at StasSurfS, and don't forget to claim your 4 free stocks. This runs out at the end of November, valued up to $1,600. All you have to do is deposit $100 and you get 4 free stocks just like that. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. I really appreciate all your support, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe out there. Peace out.